Hi, this is Elizabeth. I go by Astro-Anarchist. I've got a lot to talk about today about the eclipse. That is tomorrow. If you're watching this, this is the 17th of September. It is, okay, so trying to talk about this for me, I've been thinking about it, wanting to get something out. I've, it's kind of like being super nauseous and like kind of needing to be near the toilet just because and you're kind of waiting for it to come out and you can't get it to release. And I'm anxious, I'm uncomfortable, and I'm kind of like tired, but like kind of wired as well. So it's a really weird set of feelings. And there's this emotional shrapnel embedded in me, and this eclipse is trying to send it out. It's really embedded deep, like that first coat of a house. If there's like layers and layers and layers of paint, you're sanding it down, it's that last coat is so really stuck. It just doesn't want to go, and it's really kind of driving me crazy. So how are you all? I'm wondering, and I'm not wondering because yes, people have been talking to me about this. So astrology has not been flowing like it normally does. And I think it's because this is a deep clean or a deep sort of scraping out. There's a lot of you that have come to me feeling this hypersensitivity, emotional things that are coming up, some deep old bad habits, addictions, fears, compulsions. They're hitting us in weird places. And I want to make either a separate video or I'm going to write something to accompany this with the actual astrology in it. This is actually just for everyone. I want, this is my eclipse uh, field guide, if you will. So let's just get to just a bit of information. This eclipse is lunar, so it's like a full moon eclipse, and it's in Pisces, and that represents a culmination, a conclusion, loose ends being tied up with something. It's not over here though. We have further to go with this story. So I want to mention there's an eclipse portal. So the first of the eclipse will start tomorrow on the 17th. And then there's a period of tremendous change where the eclipse, until the eclipse ends. I believe it's on October 2nd. Um, I will write that somewhere. Uh, Astrology is about cycles. So a lot of it was studied for planting cycles and noticing how cycles work for crops. It gets into your sleeping cycles. Most women know it gets into our actual body cycles. There's eating cycles. There's all kinds of cycles, seasonal cycles. That is what astrologies are. Is Astrology is. It's sort of a bunch of patterns that have been observed over thousands and thousands of years. So I was out on the porch outside yesterday, and this is the place I'm living right now. And this guy just comes from this corn fest that was going on across the street, and he just came up to the porch of this house, which is kind of alarming. I didn't feel like he was a bad guy or that he was malevolent. It was weird. Plus, I'm kind of currently in hiding right now, so I do like conversing with humans. So I had sort of these mixed feelings about this because it felt weird. So I do have big boundaries up after the year that I've had, and this guy just starts talking to me about cats and some other random things about the corn fest. And at some point, I mentioned that I'm an anarchist, and who cares, right? Like I'm in. This is where I live, and he says, "Me too," and gets super excited. And then I mentioned that an astrologer, and I don't really tell people that generally. I kind of don't lead with it, and I know what people think when they hear that. That's the witch wound. You just kind of try and keep in hiding with that until the right time, if ever you're going to tell them that. But anyway, so I'm just, on the porch where I live. So I tell this guy, and he proceeds to inform me that astrology is not real. And Cole's notes, he is sitting at the porch at the house that I'm living in, telling me that basically I'm a fraud. And he does ask me for a cigarette, which I don't have for him because I don't smoke. Uh, but I say some smart things about indigenous ways of knowing and planting cycles and the farmer's almanac, and then I kind of just get rid of him because I can't believe that I'm having this weird conversation with a stranger. And so that was an eclipse thing. It has a lot going on at a core level. We're being asked to let go of a lot of stuff, and we have different ways of processing this. And throughout the years, we've been really like asked to shift our priorities, to change our ways, to start something new. And this comes with tremendous potential, excitement, and hope. And we're looking through this valley at the mountain range, and you can see it's just like, it's beautiful over there. You see the like sun is there, and you can see the absolute vastness of the beauty, but it still feels far off. This eclipse is really asking us to deal with our emotional body and the feelings that come with it. This guy literally comes to talk to me. He wants something from me, I guess, to connect. And when he finds out I'm an anarchist, I was cool. When he found an astrologer, I wasn't. And it's interesting because he was seeking connection. He also wasn't like he wasn't willing to connect with me. He wanted to connect with me on his terms, with his worldview and his opinions, and then invalidated me. So, with this new world and self we're building, we need to course correct what we're building and of course what needs to go. This eclipse portal on the 17th, it's like I said, it's like a 2 week of accelerated change. We're going to be ass kicked into whatever new shift we're making, and sometimes we're kind of being forced to make or it feels that way. We feel like we're being dragged into it. I'm personally moving into a new home after pretty much a lifetime of housing insecurity, and I have all kinds of feelings about that. For sure, I feel so much relief, but I am also terrified. I'm confused. I feel tons of different mixed feelings about this. And some of you are getting changes or shifts, for lack of a better word, they're shitty. We're being asked to be stewards of knowledge, stewards of how to be. This is a new world, and some of us are not rooted in land or place. This is a tough assignment, my friends, but it's on us to steward the human race forward. And that means, in relation to this eclipse, that we have some emotional body work to do. Those of us who have a lot of water in our charts, we're very misunderstood, and I have to say, very much maligned in this world. Our emotional intelligence and sensitivity scares people, and it affects others' moods, and people don't like to be near emotional like hot spots, especially when we're struggling. So people love your intuition and your gifts when they can benefit from your emotional intelligence or your knowledge and get insight from it. But and when they can, you can reflect to them and help them understand themselves. But the processing of emotion in your body, if you do have a lot of water, it is a physical reaction, a huge struggle. And there are people who will not understand this at all. They might even reject you for it. They'll turn you away, not understanding what a service you do for them, for feeling so deeply and understanding so deeply. And we can see this playing out on Earth in our ecosystems. Water is devalued, it's changed, it's taken for granted, and we try to control it, we dam it, we hold it where we want it. And if you have big three placements, that is your moon, your sun, or your ascendant in Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, I can guarantee you're definitely going through this. And I just want to reach out and tell you that you're not crazy and that we do need you and we need your emotional body. And we need that for the new world we're building. We need to start actually acknowledging our water. And because of this worldwide hatred of all things matriarchal, all things emotional, we have not had any leadership in the world on that, on regulation and how to manage big physical sensations. And because of the power of this, it's like a superpower that you have. There's a lot of fears from, I'd say, the exterior world about emotionalism. And I think there's been also a lot of misdirected, like those of us who have lots of water don't know what we're doing. Sometimes we misdirect that energy. And as my friend Carmen says, we're all mixed up meat bags. So this eclipse on the 17th could feel really intense for some of us. It might not for others. And then it could be really intense emotionally. Mars, the planet of will and desire, is also in Cancer. And I'm telling you all, it doesn't matter if you have water or not, there is something in the water, my friends. My best advice is to kind of think about how you can soothe. So showers, baths, saunas, pools, rivers, oceans, they're all going to help you. Secondly, you cannot think yourself out of this. Your brain is in overdrive. All of us are thinking about thinking because it's Virgo season. So we're obsessing, we're overarching, we're perfecting, we're analyzing. There's a hyper kind of mental thing going on, but this full moon is about dissolving. So this eclipse energy is about clearing the deck for the new thing. There is hope. You are getting you are getting somewhere. You are. The process is kind of painful for some of us, but try to find safe and soft ways to soothe. Let yourself cry if you need to. Let yourself sleep if you need to. Find a moment to let the river flow and the water move. You need it. The world needs it. And for some of you, you're going to be feeling great about this culmination or conclusion that we're coming to tomorrow. And you're feeling already this newness, like it's something you really want to let go of. And it might be felt sort of as an intellectual or inspirational vibe. And either way, please pay attention to those emotions anyway. There are messages in this water. We all have an emotional body. We all have a moon, and you might want to process this through your mind, but your body reacts and it needs your tenderness and attention. This eclipse, the first one, is an invitation to know yourself deeper and let go of those habits, those thoughts, those ways of being, those traditions, some of those ideas, those notions, those givens. This is a deep clean, and this story started in March 2023, and it will actually conclude more in June 2025, and that's kind of the cycle. I will get deeper into that astrology somewhere, either written or video. So you tending to your emotional body and feeling the feelings is going to help you in the world. This is what I really want to say. The thing about feelings is that we can't hide them. We can't hide them forever anyway. They will spill out and they will make a mess somewhere, sometime. This eclipse is an invitation to do the healing work, and sometimes that just means admit it. Admit that you feel them. Show yourself to yourself and love yourself for being strong enough to feel through an era where they will shame you for feeling things. Feelings are a superpower. They're beautiful and they're delicate. And we get to have them no matter what gender we are. We get to be angry or sad, or we get to feel whatever we feel. Water is life, and not just on Earth. It is in us.